Good afternoon, class. I wanted to take a minute to make this quick video for you so that you guys could complete the rest of this exploration activity on your own. So what we're going to start looking at is the graphs of some polynomial functions. And you guys have had a chance to see some of those when we were going through solving our polynomial equations. Now, in this activity, though, it's going to require you guys to identify a few different things. So that's what I want to walk you through how to find. Now, in my first function that you guys see here, this function is in factored form. And I'll do one problem with you when it's in factored form and another with standard form so you can see how to approach them. But with this first problem, the first question is asking you, what is the leading term? So in order for you guys to find the leading term, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the first term in each of these polynomials. So that would be the 1/3 x, the 6x, and the x. And if you multiply all of those together, that's going to give you what your first term would be if you put this into standard form. You don't need to multiply all of it together to figure this out. So if I have 1/3 x times 6x times x, well, 1/3 times 6 is 2. And then x times x times x will leave me with x to the third. So this would be the leading term if I were going to put this in standard form. I don't need to do everything in order to get to this one. Now, in our leading term, the degree is the highest exponent. And the highest exponent will always be in the leading term. So my highest exponent here is going to be 3. And the leading coefficient then is the coefficient in our leading term. So my coefficient here is going to be 2. Now, all of this I can find without graphing this function. But in order for me to find how the ends of the function behave in the number of x-intercepts, what I want you guys to do is I want you to graph this in your calculator. So, just a quick reminder, go into your y equals. Make sure none of your plots are on. You do not want those highlighted. And now we're going to enter our function. So I have 1/3 x times 6x minus 9 times x plus 3. Now, in your window, I'm going to suggest that you guys change your y min and y max. So I've already done mine. So mine is from -20 to +20. Some of these are going to just need a bigger window than your normal Zoom standard or your Zoom 6. So once that's done, if I go to graph now, this is the sketch of my function. Now, all I need you guys to do is do a general sketch. You don't need tick marks. You don't need specific points, just a sketch. Now, the next part of this, though, is asking, what are the ends doing? What are the behaviors of the end of the function? Now, when you guys answer this, it's always going to be up or down. Now, on my right hand here, the right hand is going up. So my right hand behavior is up. And I would like you guys to draw an arrow that is going to the right and up. My left arrow here is going down. And so if you guys could draw an arrow that is going down and to the left. And then the last thing I need you guys to do is to just identify the number of x-intercepts. Now, when I take a look at this one, I have 1, 2, 3. I had 3 x-intercepts. All I have to do is count them. So as you go through these problems, this is all I expect you to do. Now, the only difference now between number 1 and number 2 is that in number 2, this function is now in standard form. Now, in this case, if it's in standard form, I don't need to do any work to find my leading term. My leading term right now is negative x to the 4th. My degree is 4. If I have a negative in front, that's negative 1. And all you have to do now is to go back to your y equals, clear it out, and enter your function. So when I go to sketch the graph of this, notice I can't see up here, but I know it goes up and it has to come back down because that's the only thing that would make that make sense. And when I look here, I can see that it touches my x-axis and then it comes back down. So when I go to sketch the graph of this, I know it's going to end up looking something like this. And that's as far as you guys need to go with the details. So my left hand is down, my right hand is down, and the number of x-intercepts, 1, 2, and 3. So I'd like you guys to finish the rest of this for the rest of the functions that you have, and then I would like you to try to answer some of the summary questions to see if you can develop some of the trends that are developing as you go through this. I hope you have a good weekend.